Welcome to the ultimate spiritual road trip, where we're swapping out the usual tourist traps for some of the most sacred spots on the planet. Ever wonder why those devoted to the spiritual path seem to love their alone time? Could it be a preference for solitude, or maybe it's just that binge-watching the latest series wasn't an option back then? Today, we're diving deep into the silent world of spiritual solitude and the profound quiet that has shaped countless beliefs and practices across the globe. First stop, ancient Greece, a place where mystics and oracles didn't just predict your average weather forecast. Enter the Oracle of Delphi, home to the Pythia, a priestess with a rather unique daily grind. Picture this: secluded in her sacred chamber, she'd breathe in potent vapors, slipping into a trance that today's most daring adventurers wouldn't dare to dream of. This wasn't your run-of-the-mill meditation session, it was divine madness, channeling prophecies straight from Apollo himself. Quite an unusual job description, don't you think? Talk about a high-stakes gig. Alright, buckle up as we hit warp speed from Greece to India. Now, when you hear tapas, if your mind goes straight to those delicious Spanish small plates, let's take a sharp turn into the spiritual lane. In Hinduism, tapas is less about snacking and more about a hardcore spiritual regimen that includes solitude, fasting, and a level of self-discipline that would make even a monk nod in respect. Picture it as the ultimate cleanse, but instead of sipping on green juice, you're purifying your soul and tuning up your spiritual engine. This isn't just about skipping meals and enjoying some quiet time, it's an intense journey inward that's said to unlock some serious spiritual mojo. Legends like Vishwamitra and Vasistha didn't just dabble in tapas, they went full throttle, achieving the kind of spiritual street cred that makes them household names in the annals of Hindu mythology. It's a vivid reminder of the mind's untapped potential and the transformative power of a little, or a lot of, self-imposed solitude. So next time you're considering a detox, maybe give the soul-cleansing power of tapas a thought. It's the kind of inner journey that could leave you with more than just a feeling of physical lightness. All aboard the Enlightenment Express. Next stop, Buddhism. Imagine the Buddha not on your average solo camping trip, but on an epic quest for enlightenment under the legendary Bodhi tree. Picture this. No cozy campfires or ghost stories here. Instead, it's just Buddha versus his inner demons in the ultimate showdown, all in the quest for the middle way. Think of it as the spiritual equivalent of a superhero origin story where, instead of capes and superpowers, it's all about conquering the mind and unlocking the secrets of the universe. So grab your metaphorical backpack, because we're diving deep into the heart of spiritual adventure, where enlightenment is the treasure, and the path is paved with introspection and insight. Who needs marshmallows when you've got the light of wisdom to guide you? Next up, we're trekking into the sandy reality show of early Christianity. Picture the desert fathers and mothers as the original castaways, ditching the Roman rat race for the dunes of devotion. These spiritual pioneers were all about that hermit life: prayer, fasting, and enough solitude to make even a lone wolf howl for company. And let's talk about the temptations they faced. We're not just dealing with the urge to binge-eat locusts here. These were the kind of mind-bending challenges that could make you question your sanity. But for our desert-dwelling friends, these trials were just part of the divine obstacle course, leading them to a VIP meet and greet with the Almighty. So if you thought your meditation app was hardcore, these folks were the ultimate spiritual warriors, finding God in the whispers of the wind and the silence of the sand. Now let's glide into the mystical whirlpool of Sufism, where solitude isn't just appreciated, it's practically a spiritual superfood. Imagine embarking on a solo retreat, but instead of your usual yoga stretches and mindfulness meditations, you're diving deep into the ocean of intense spiritual longing and transformation. Enter stage left, Rumi, the superstar of Sufism, who turned solitude into his personal studio for soulful remixes after bumping into his spiritual DJ, Shams Tabrizi. This wasn't just a chill hangout, it was the catalyst for Rumi's greatest hits in the realm of divine love and transformation. So if you've ever felt a bit extra while journaling your thoughts, remember Rumi turned his solitude sessions into timeless poetry that still slays on the spiritual charts. Now, let's take a virtual hike to the Americas, where indigenous cultures are all about the vision quest. It's like a spiritual Survivor series, but instead of outwitting, outplaying, and outlasting, you're out-silencing, out-solituding, and out-spiritualizing. This isn't your typical weekend getaway. It's a deep dive into the soul, complete with fasting and full-on nature immersion. Forget about roasting marshmallows. You're here to roast your inner demons and toast to spiritual clarity. Imagine swapping your comfy bed for a night under the stars, seeking visions that are more eye-opening than a double shot of espresso. It's a rite of passage that's part vision board, part extreme camping trip, and it's all about finding guidance that doesn't come with a GPS. So, if you're ready to fast-track your way to enlightenment, the Vision Quest is your non-stop flight to the divine. Just remember to pack light, and I'm not talking about your backpack. In the wild world of shamanic traditions from every corner of the globe, stepping into the shoes of a shaman is like signing up for the ultimate spiritual boot camp. Picture this: intense solitude, fasting like you're on the world's strictest diet, and diving headfirst into altered states of consciousness that make your wildest dreams look tame. It's not just a rite of passage, it's the cosmic equivalent of no pain, no spiritual gain. So if you thought your gym's boot camp was tough, shamans are out here turning their initiation into an extreme sport of the soul. As we draw closer to the zenith of our spiritual exploration, let's cast a spotlight on the alchemists and hermeticists, the original masons of the soul's inner temple. These vanguards of the esoteric realm elevated me-time to the level of a sacred art, concocting their own brand of magic in a world where solitude was the crucible of divine discovery. Their brand of meditation? Think of it as a turbocharged spiritual espresso, awakening the senses to realms unseen. And as for their rituals, they were the avant-garde chefs of the spiritual banquet, blending ancient wisdom with a dash of the mystical to taste the flavors of the beyond. As we gear up to conclude our mystical expedition, let's don our philosopher's caps in honor of these pioneers of the spirit. They were the original decryptors of the universe's enigmatic code, infusing a pinch of seclusion into their transformative elixir. And maybe, just maybe, their alchemical goal to morph lead into gold was a metaphor for us to transmute the mundane into the miraculous, shining a light on the hidden splendor within. That, my friends, is the essence of spiritual alchemy at its finest. As we keep diving into the quiet depths of silence and solitude's transformative power, let's zoom in on a biblical blockbuster, Moses and the Burning Bush. Picture this as the ultimate divine FaceTime, where the burning bush stars as the celestial signal booster. There, Moses, up on his mountainous retreat, hits the ultimate level of do not disturb, experiencing the kind of sensory deprivation that pushes him to the edge of his spiritual bandwidth. This isn't just quiet time, it's a deep dive into the silence that sparks epic spiritual encounters, showcasing just how game-changing a bit of solitude can be in dialing up divine wisdom and personal transformation. This story? It's like the spiritual lighthouse, guiding us through the foggy seas of our quest for insight and change. But wait, there's a plot twist. Whispers in the wind suggest that the burning bush wasn't just your garden-variety fire hazard. Some say it was acacia wood, which, get ready for it, might have been the ancient world's version of a spiritual amplifier. Imagine Moses not just having a heart-to-heart with the divine, but possibly tuning into the universe's playlist through a bush that's more than meets the eye. It's a wild thought, like discovering your most straight-laced ancestor was actually the life of the party. While this acacia theory might be more of a what-if scenario, it definitely adds some spice to our understanding of ancient spiritual practices. It's a reminder that humanity's spiritual journey has always been about finding those unique frequencies that connect us to something greater, making the quest for enlightenment a diverse mixtape of experiences and revelations.